Alright, so in this video we're going to be talking about concepts in 2D scrolling fighters. Well, 2.5D, because the game here is 2.5D. The example game we're going to be using here is Tekken 3, something I played, most recently played in 2012 or 13, I want to say. So this footage is 13 to 14 years old. In terms of like action gaming, I was definitely much more into it back then. I was a lot more naive back then and stuff. I yeah. um, but I guess it's a phase I needed to go through. Um, but I kept the footage, and it can be used for educational purposes. Okay. Um, because this has to do with higher difficulties. Um, in this, basically, I have the game speed hacked several times the typical speed. Tekken 3 is kind of slow paced, but the controls are very responsive, which makes it great as a fighting game. But let's just go into it.
Test your might.
Oh no, we're not doing this music here. Okay, so here it's going through the menu, arcade mode. Yeah, this was my favorite character. Even though I believe he's evil as all hell in the Tekken timeline, I'm not sure. So, what are some concepts that are happening here and stuff? Well, you stick to what works, and you focus on efficiency and aggression, and evasion, properly timed defense, and properly timed attack. You're basically timing your attacks with interruptions, and once you achieve a stagger, you go and stuff. And I mean, a lot of games outside of fighting work this way too. Um, like some of your best attacks are when your opponent is en passant. So there's that. But in this, I finished the whole roster without losing arcade mode. So that makes this instructive. I think here I paused it to like just curse my head off for a second. Oh no, this wasn't the attempt where I got all of them. I'm just gonna work backwards from when I completed it. If this was compliant with speedrun rules, it would have been, I think, anywhere from 3rd to 5th place for arcade mode. Back in those days, I think I had much better skills. I would have been a much more qualified instructor for this type of thing. But video games, it's not really something a person wants to focus on too much. There's much more important things, like just being very real. Oh, it was on hard difficulty. I didn't know that. I forgot about that part of this video. So here, forgot that guy's name. But this was a great game when it came out, and it's still great. It's got responsive combat, and the visuals are clean enough. Um, you know, it's not going to mess with your eyes or anything. Everything's, basically visually distinguished properly. I believe that's a 2D background though. Yeah, here we restart the run and okay, so yeah, your stage one. I think they shuffle around who you fight first. This guy's very easy if you have the proper character, and that's another important character. That's another important concept is that you want to, you know, have a good opening by having good material and stuff. So you open with good material. How do you do that? Well, you pick the right character and build and stuff. You try to minimax things, but what you can minimax effectively tells you what type of a game it is. Like, for example, if your character is low damage and stuff, and you try to minimax it, but you're only getting 10% more damage, 9 times out of 10, or most of the time and stuff, that's basically a sign to you that this is not a game about damage. And I don't think Tekken 3 is really about damage, honestly. Yoshimitsu doesn't put out terrible damage, but he gets a lot of initiative. Um, if you can, try to pick a character and build that you're really comfortable with that works with how you do things. I don't know why I paused here. It was 13 years ago. I don't remember. But this is how I practiced and trained. Um, this is part of my mental training too, as well, to have a very fast visual processing speed. And yeah, I used to take a multivitamin, and then I would take caffeine with ephedrine. Um, well, in a legal variant, I think it was called ephedra or something. I used to take a tiny bit of that, maybe like a quarter of a capsule of green stinger ephedra, and um, that's a pretty good stimulant. But caffeine is kind of trash. Um, Anything else? I mean, we might as well just play through the whole thing while I'm waiting for this glue to dry and this iPod I'm fixing. I guess here I'm really annoyed because I cleared it before, so I'm just cranking it up. Um, I think I cleared hard mode when I was like, when I was in my senior year of high school, just at normal speed. Around the time I discovered, PlayStation emulation and stuff. Um, yeah. So here, it's important to be able to do that. When you can beat your own build and stuff, then you have a good amount of skill. You go well past the stalemate. That's a good sign. That means a lot of things are working. Jin here gets steamrolled for opening up the fight incorrectly. And that's actually one of the hardest things about 2D fighting games is like, okay, how do you start your first attack? Like, sometimes the other guy isn't really doing anything, um, and I guess you just have to catch the en passant, and or you have to wait for them to drop their defense, or but you don't take chances. That's for damn sure. And around this time, I figured out the button combo to just beat the crap out of everybody and how to time it. Um, so pretty much everybody's getting melted at this point. Nina is actually gets very tough because her damage is high and she times things really well, but she gets melted too. Honestly, it doesn't feel good to beat up on female characters, but whatever. It's just a video game. Oh, 8 wins? But what about? Oh no, this is survival mode. Wait, do I clear any mode in this video? I don't know. I probably got that detail wrong. stage 2, stage 1, stage 3, stage 6, stage 7. Yeah, I don't think I've complete anything here. Stage 9. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay, so I didn't clear arcade mode. It was time attack mode. Womp womp. But yeah, that should, I mean, I feel like I explained some important ideas here. It's not clear cut and linear, but you definitely have to know how to case things out and how to answer them. For sure.